This is what the stakeholders are saying about the policies, and I'm very sure you've seen Kasule Lumumba there making some of the points within this very story. But getting to another story here, the Arab Bank has injected 20 million into the UDB to support the private sector, not only in Uganda but Africa-wise. And this was they approved the 20 million US dollars funding in line to Uganda UDB, and this is looking forward at enhancing trade in Uganda in particular.
In an annual report on European SMEs 2020-2021, small and medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of Europe's economy. They represent 99% of all businesses in Europe. They employ 100 million people, account for more than half of Europe's GDP, and play a key role in adding value in every sector of the economy. In Asia and America, it is even beyond. However, the SME sector in Africa is still underperforming. A study by New Partnership for Africa's Development estimated that SMEs need between 30 to 70 billion US dollars to survive in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis. But in the end, few were mobilized by governments to provide this support. The Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa says that there are mechanisms in place to ensure that this is a win-win situation.
Before 1 year. And this makes a little bit challenging for a bank to lend to this startup. And in general, microfinance, micro and small and medium enterprises don't have, in general, the ability to produce financial statements, which are the basic requirement by any commercial bank. This is why we had to think out of the box, to think about how this can this issue can be solved, and how micro, small, and medium enterprise can have access to finance and to be able to reimburse. And if they not reimburse, the bank will not make a loss. Because if the bank were to make a loss, they will not continue to lend. And this is why institutions like AGF, the African Guarantee Fund, comes, because they are providing guarantees for bank on a portfolio basis if SMEs are not in a position to repay, so the bank gets repaid by the guarantee fund.
Uganda Development Bank says it will see to it that this funding bridges financial gaps and helps identify more suitable SMEs to benefit from this funding.
It's two-pronged approach. One, we have the businesses already that we have to keep on, improving their capacity. So we keep on monitoring to say what is it that they need within the business to run the businesses better, okay? Do they need support in management, governance, etc.? So we keep reviewing, we monitor, and then we're able to assess and discuss, and then we see how to provide those solutions. And then the other one, which is quite new, is supporting those that are not yet in our portfolio, but you want to encourage to bring them in. So previously when they come, or the reasons that the banks where everyone ties or turns them out, turns them away, is because in our language we call them not bankable. In other words, they do not meet the requirements that any bank would need. Do you have a business plan? Do you have financials? Do you have collateral arrangements? Do you have, those kind of issues? Do you have what is your management like? Issues around governance. So previously, if they do not have that, then the bank cannot, a formal financial institution like a bank.
On a continent where SMEs represent 90% of businesses, each crisis must be anticipated and thoroughly reflected in order to protect this network that provides millions of jobs and drive African small and medium enterprises.
Yeah, thank you very much, the Arab Bank, for injecting the 20 million US dollars that is looking forward to supporting or funding the private sector in this country. This is a very good initiative, and I'm very sure it's going to support us very well. Now, let us speak about the East African Airways that collapsed. You remember, these East African Airways were supported by 3 countries, including Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. But its collapse its collapse led to the revival of Uganda Airlines, and we're going to take you through the history, how it collapsed and how it came to the rebirth of Uganda Airlines. Let us have this history from our reporter.
East African Airlines was established in 1967 as a result of a major attempt to bring in ground for regional carriers in East Africa, which encompassed Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania.
And when they had the East African Airways, the initiative then was to bring in what you call a regional carrier, and that's why they formed the East African Airways.
As the East African community broke up and assessments were divided among the three nations, with Kenya taking the largest portion, East African Airlines also fell apart.
Community collapsed. It collapsed with the East African Airways. So the assets were split. And you will recall that most of the airline assets went to Kenya. Now, Uganda then set up under Idi Amin what we call the Uganda Airlines Corporation.
Due to slow infrastructure development, expensive aviation equipment, and political unrest, the aviation industry in Uganda and Africa as a whole has experienced sluggish growth.
Has taken time to grow because of the delay in the development of the infrastructure, airports, navigation equipment, capacity in terms of passenger loads.
The 60 years of independence have been godsend in that they have permitted the new Uganda Airlines to reemerge with innovative and fresh adjustments to their fleet and business operations.
Everything now on aircraft, tracking systems, commercial systems are all digital now. You can book your flight on the phone, wherever you are. You can even, if you decide to travel to Nairobi today, you could just book your flight now.
Uganda Airlines has been able to inject 50 billion into the economy in just 6 months, which has enabled to generate a number of jobs.
Space of 6 months, we've been able to inject 59 billion into the economy worth of contracts. So that means that we have created direct and indirect jobs.
Yeah, those have been the stories that made the headlines in the days of the week. I want to thank you for still sticking to the Smart 24 TV. Remember to stay and make a watch on other stories or on other programs that are coming in. Hook us on our social media platforms. That's Smart 24 TV official on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If at all you want to make business with us, just come to Nile Avenue. You go to our website, Smart 24 TV official, and you get to our contacts, and you come and give us business on little negotiations. Thank you so much. My name is Pedison Mumbere, and let's catch up in the next week. Bye-bye.